Great. Welcome to your Tuesday, November 9th yoga practice. Please find your comfortable seat and have your tools, your props available if you'd like to use them today. As you settle in and sit tall, I'll ring the bell one time. Let's listen as long as we can hear sound. If you'd like to begin your practice by chanting Om, let's draw our hands together in front of our heart. Remember, you can also sigh or hum to create vibration in the body. Inhale deeply. Release your hands. Grab a block and make your way onto your back. Bring the block to your left side, about a foot away from your left hip. Open your arms out like a T or a cactus and draw your knees in towards your chest. Stay here for a breath or two, practicing softening your shoulders and the back of your head into the earth. Notice that it might take several breaths. Maybe it just continuously, every exhale, you find a little bit of release. Melting a little more every exhale. And as the back continues to soften onto the ground with each exhale, we'll breathe and prepare to twist, dropping the legs to the left. So as you're ready with an exhale, releasing the legs to the left side of the mat and letting them rest on the block. Now, if you do that and then don't feel enough sensation, you can just remove the block and let the legs fall all the way to the ground. If it's early, you might find that the block is a supported way of easing into this twist while keeping your shoulders connected to the ground. Breathe deeply. And moving slowly, inhale, bring the legs back to neutral, switch the block to the right leg, right hip. After a breath or two, practicing letting go, the spine meeting the earth. With an exhale, let your legs fall to the right. As you settle in, practice letting the shoulders release. Notice where you find tension or any sensation in the body, and bring a curious, friendly awareness to that area. Just noticing it, free of judgment, observing without evaluating. Breathe deeply. As you're ready, guide your legs back to neutral, and maybe here you hold your legs and rock side to side. You can draw some circles with your knees, keeping the legs together, drawing circles both directions, giving a little massage to the low back, the hip and gluteal muscles. When you're ready, roll onto one side and press yourself up. Here you might come to sit on the very edge of your folded blanket, and you might grab your strap. As we send the right leg long, left foot presses into the right thigh. We'll actually pivot so that you're facing your left leg. Janu Shirshasana. If you're on the blanket, we want both hips to be equally meeting the ground. So make any adjustments necessary. Press the the right foot into the left leg. Left toes spread really wide. The toes of the extended leg. I think I half mirrored, half not. Loop the strap over your extended leg and sit really tall. Imagine lifting your ribs up out of your hips and breathe like this and slowly start to hinge forward any amount. Remember, it's not a competition. We're just looking for sensation. Breathe. And as we keep sinking the hips equally into the earth and lifting the torso up out of the hips, you might explore taking a little twist, in which case bring the strap into the opposite hand of the extended leg, so I think your left hand, and start to rotate your torso, revolving the torso over the straight leg, and maybe bringing your free hand, I think your right hand, back behind you. Breathe here. Every breath, we lift up out of our hips, lengthening the spine. Every exhale, an opportunity to lean into the twist a bit more. Maybe you look over your back shoulder. One more breath like this. And with an exhale, switch the twist, switch the strap into the opposite arm, twisting over to the other side. Again, bringing the free hand to the low back if that feels good. Looking over the back shoulder if that feels good. Still lengthening the spine with every breath. Another big breath here. Inhaling, I am here now. Exhaling, I can let go. Breathing deeply, release the strap, sit up tall, and switch your legs. The foot of the bent leg is pressing into the straightened leg. The toes are spread wide, kneecaps are pulling up towards the hip because our quadriceps are engaged. Loop the strap over the extended leg. Sit up really tall. Notice if you're holding in the arms and shoulders, see if you can let it go as you begin to hinge forward. Any amount, remember, not a competition. Keep pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. Toby is so close, yet so far away. Another breath or two, and you might begin to start revolving your torso over the extended leg, bringing the back hand to your low back as you look over your back shoulder, perhaps. Couple more breaths like this, exploring without pushing. Another breath. And as you exhale, slowly release, switch the strap into the opposite hand as you revolve your torso the other way. Bringing your new back hand to your low back, maybe looking over the back shoulder. Extending the spine with every inhale. Letting go with every exhale. Breathe deeply as you slowly release Janushirshasana. We can set the strap out of the way and make our way into tabletop. You might want blocks available under your shoulders, maybe even keeping blocks under your hands as we flex the spine through cow and cat. Inhale to drop your belly, right on cue. And exhale, there's our cat. Moving the spine down towards the earth and up towards the sky. And all the while, bring some awareness to your hands and how they meet the earth or blocks. So we're anchoring into our fingertips and to the roots of the knuckles, always trying to lighten the load on our wrists. And bring your spine towards neutral. Carry the weight into your right hand. Inhale your left hand to the sky. We'll thread the needle 3 times. Exhale to thread. Left shoulder towards the center of the mat. Inhale to unwind and reach. Exhale to thread. Inhale to reach. Exhale to thread. Inhale to reach. And when you're ready, exhale the left hand to the earth. Carry the weight there. On an inhale, right fingertips to the sky, big stretch. Exhale, right shoulder comes towards the center of the mat, threading the needle. Inhale to stretch and reach. Exhale to thread. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale. One more inhale to reach. Big stretch. And when you're ready, exhale the right hand back to the earth or block. Tuck your toes. Breathe deeply, and with an exhale, push the ground away. Float your knees off of the earth, maybe just an inch or two. Hover here. Imagine dragging your knees towards your hands. Grip with your fingertips. Core is super engaged. One more breath like this, and exhale, send your hips high. Straighten your legs a little as we find this triangle shape of downward facing dog. And you might be exploring this with your hands on blocks, noticing how that changes the perspective a bit. Maybe you have your hands on the earth. Either way, imagine pushing the ground away. Feel the shoulders slide up towards your ears and let your neck hang heavy. On an inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, big stretch, 3-legged dog. Look forwards. Exhale, step or swing the right foot to the right thumb. You can lower your left knee or keep it lifted. Whatever you do, lengthen your spine. Imagine pulling the crown of your head away from the sole of your left foot. Long line here. Option to twist by grounding your left hand, bringing your right hand to your low back and revolving your torso, opening the heart to the right. The right leg is still hugging into the midline, right knee over right ankle. Maybe you release your right hand. You can keep the arm parallel to the earth or bring the fingertips to the sky. Maybe you draw a big circle, exploring the whole range of motion that your shoulder has. Wherever you go, we'll stay for about 3 more breaths. Remembering that this is your practice, you can always modify, you can always adjust, and you can always take a break. We're here to create space, not judgment. Do what you've got to do. As you're ready, return your right hand to the earth or block. Heart returns to neutral. Big inhale. Exhale yourself back into plank pose. After a breath here, soften your knees, send your hips high, return to downward facing dog. Inhale your left heel to the sky, 3-legged dog, big stretch. Look forwards, core engaged. Exhale, step or swing the left foot to the top of the mat. Again, long line of energy from the crown of your head to the sole of your back foot. The left knee is directly over the left ankle. You can lower the right knee if needed. Carry the weight into your right hand and bring your left hand to your low back as you start to rotate your torso. And I said carry the weight into your right hand, but let's make sure we're not dumping a lot of weight into it. We're really energetically engaged here. So it's kind of more like a light little kickstand, But if we wanted to or needed to, we could lift the right hand anytime. Maybe you reach your left fingertips back in space, looking back perhaps. Maybe you like your arm up overhead, or maybe you like the slow, full circles. About 3 more breaths. And after another big breath, we'll return the left hand to the earth, neutralize the spine, preparing to step forward into forward fold. Big inhale. Exhale, giant step to the top of the mat, whatever it takes to get there. And then maybe you shake your legs, bending the knees back and forth. And then hang heavy, Uttanasana, forward fold. You might rock your head side to side, look side to side, maybe nod your head. On an inhale, lift up halfway, long spine, core engaged. Exhale, fold again. Bring your right hand to the block or under your shoulder as you bend your right knee really generously. Straighten your left leg a little bit as again the left hand comes to the low back, and start to rotate your torso open to the left. Another twist. I like Tuesdays. See if you can anchor into the pinky side edge of your left foot. And again, option to lift the fingertips to the sky. Imagine dragging your left hip back in space. Hopefully you're feeling some sensation on the lateral edge of the left leg. One more breath. And when you exhale, soften the left knee, plant the left hand. Keep the left leg bent as you straighten the right leg any amount. Anchor into the pinky side edge of the right foot. Rotate your torso open to the right hand coming to the low back, the sacrum. Breathing like this, maybe you bring the right fingertips to the sky. Another big breath. Inhale for length, and exhale, soft bend in the right knee, return the right hand to the earth. With an inhale, rise all the way up, reaching out and up. And exhale your hands to your heart. You might turn to face the wide edge of the mat. We're going to take a wide leg forward fold. I recommend bringing blocks right under your center as well. You can always adjust your stance. Wherever you go, let's try to keep the feet parallel with the edges of your mat. Anchor into all 4 corners. There might be a tendency to roll in on our ankles here. We want to make sure that we're evenly distributing the weight, helping to lift and engage our arches. Hands to hips, lower your tail. So imagine lengthening your low back while you lift your crown. Shoulder blades slide together and down. Stand tall here. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathe deeply and slowly start to hinge forward. Your hands are on your hips. Maybe you can become aware of all of these subtle changes happening in your hips and low back as you start to fold forward. Now you can soften your knees anytime. When you're ready, you can release your hands to the earth or blocks. Maybe you rest your head on the blocks if that's an option. You can also rest your arms on the blocks and put your head in your hands. Slow breaths. Another cycle here. If you can support your head in postures like this, it is like an extra cue to the nervous system that all is well. All right, breathing deeply. We'll slowly plant the hands under the shoulders. I'm going to use a block under my left hand as my right hand comes to my low back, and I revolve the torso, again, twisting. Again, option to reach the top fingertips to the sky. The idea here is that we're stacking the top shoulder over the bottom. You can imagine still pulling your crown away from your tail, maybe looking up to the top thumb. One more breath. And exhale, release the twist, switching to the other side. Breathe deeply, rotate the torso, open to the left. Maybe you reach the left fingertips to the sky. Check in with your feet. Are we pressing equally into the four corners of each foot? One more big breath. And exhale, release. I'm not going to mirror because I don't think my brain's doing well with it today. So bend your left knee as we start sinking our hips into Skandasana. So you can do this on your left toes, or maybe you can sink the left heel all the way to the earth. Let's all have our right toes point up towards the sky. And no worries if you are much higher. What we're doing here is looking to stretch the inner groin muscles, the adductors, the muscles that bring the legs together. So as long as you're feeling a stretch there, you're doing it right. Toes spread wide and pointed to the sky, knee pointed to the sky. Stay here or fold forward. Breathe deeply. Remember, modifying anytime as much as you need. And you can really modify all of this even from seated in a chair. Walk your hands back towards you if you took the forward fold. And reach your left hand to the sky, twisting the torso over towards the bent leg, looking up towards your left thumb. Right fingertips might walk away from you. One more big breath. As you exhale, return the left hand to the blocks. Push yourself up through wide leg forward fold and slowly walk your hands over to the right foot as you bend your right knee. Skandasana on the other side, left toes to the sky. Maybe you're on your right toes, maybe the heel reaches the earth. I should say you could also put the blanket under your heel. Engage the left legs, toes pointed towards the sky and spread wide. Let's fold forward for a breath or two. Notice if you can feel the breath in the body. As you're ready, walk your hands back a little closer to your body. Reach your right hand to the sky. Twisting the torso towards the bent leg. Maybe you walk the left fingertips away from you. Big wingspan stretch. Breathe deeply. Moving in any way that works for you. One more breath like this. Slowly release. Press yourself up to wide leg forward fold. You might shimmy the hips just a little side to side, and then slowly heel toe your feet together. We'll turn to face the top of the mat. Just one more time for a full body stretch. Inhale to rise all the way up, reaching. And exhale, fold back down all the way. Bend your knees and sink your hips. If you want to use blocks again for another spinal twist, you can bring them with you. Otherwise, we'll just roll onto our back. Reach the arms up overhead, send your left leg long. Right knee stays bent, bring the right leg over the left, taking a twist here. Big breath. And then return the legs to neutral, switching so the right leg's long, left knee bent. Big stretch as you twist, letting the left leg fall to the right. Breathe, stretch, twist. As you're ready, release, returning to neutral. Bend both knees. Let your legs windshield wipe, falling side to side. Sometimes it feels nice to me to put your hands on your belly and feel those deep muscles stretching. Return your legs to neutral and find your way into Shavasana. Maybe today you keep your knees bent, feet planted, and let the knees fall together in the middle. Maybe your hands rest on your body. Or maybe you send your legs long, arms long. Traditional Shavasana corpse pose. Notice any sensations you can become aware of in the body here. Our quote today comes from David Grayson. The other day, a man asked me what I thought was the best time of life. Why, I answered without a thought, now. The other day, a man asked me what I thought was the best time of life. Why, now. Notice where your mind is, where your thoughts have gone. Notice your breath. Resting here, can you notice the feeling of the fabric on your skin? Notice any sounds of your environment. Breathe deeply and slowly make your way back to an easy seated posture. Remembering, of course, that if you have time to linger in Shavasana longer or to transition into meditation, you are certainly welcome to do your own thing at this point, at any point. Let's draw our hands together in front of our heart, closing this practice with a vibration of sound, inhaling for Om. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. And happy birthday to my sweetheart. I'll see you all tomorrow.
I just heard the birthday boy wake up.